All right, we're just a few days away from the big game, a.k.a. Super Bowl LVIII, where the Niners will battle the Chiefs for the right to be crowned NFL champion. Now, sports bettors, they're going to look to rack up some wins during the big game, and we are here to help. So in this edition of Hittin The Books, we'll break down the best bets for Super Bowl LVIII with New York Post editor-at-large and feature handicapper of the Post NFL Bettor Guide since 1994. Dave Blezow joins me now. Dave, how's it going?
Going good. Thanks for having me on, Dexter.
Always good to talk to you, sir. And Dave, right now, heading into this game, the Niners, they're 2-point favorites. Do you like taking the Niners to win by a field goal or more, or are you taking the defending champs, the Chiefs, and the points here?
My Super Bowl pick is the Chiefs. Looking at these playoffs, the 49ers in the last 2 weeks have been favored twice against the Packers and Lions. Even though they made comebacks to win those games, they failed to cover the spreads. The Chiefs in the last 2 weeks have not only covered as underdogs against the Bills and then the Ravens, but they also won the games outright. So I think there's good value in the Chiefs getting a couple of points.
Yeah, I think there's some good value in the Chiefs there. Go ahead, Dave.
I mean, the reason why I'm making this selection, I like to look at three things: coach, quarterback, and kicker. Starting with the quarterbacks, you have Patrick Mahomes, who has won 2 Super Bowls. He's played in a third one. And Brock Purdy is a first-time Super Bowl starter. I did some research for my pick in the newspaper, and when this situation has happened, the quarterback that has won a Super Bowl playing against a first-time Super Bowl quarterback, the experienced quarterback, is 13-6 in those games. Now, with the coaches, Andy Reid, of course, has won a couple Super Bowls. This is Kyle Shanahan. It's not his first Super Bowl, but he's already lost one to Andy Reid. And of course, he was the offensive coordinator of the Falcons when they blew the 28-3 lead to the Patriots several years earlier. And then the kickers, you have Harrison Butker. So case closed for Kansas City on kickers there.
Yeah, experience might be a factor here in how you want to place your bets on Super Bowl LVIII. Now, I want to talk to you about this as well, too. There's been zero movement on the over-under total this week. It's set at 47.5 right now. These are two very good defenses, but the Niners, they've got offensive weapons, and we know Mahomes can be Mahomes. So are you taking the over or under when it comes to the total points in the big game?
It's a tough call, but I'm taking the under. I think trying to look at the game, the way the game is going to go down, the game script, if you will. I'm not saying it's scripted by the league or anything, but the way I see the game playing out is, more like Ravens versus Chiefs, where I think both teams that have good defenses are going to be willing to play the long game, the slower game. I think both teams will be able to run a little bit, and that should move the clock. And you have some short passes that move the chains, and I don't think anybody's going to get too crazy. I don't think the game's going to get to be more than a touchdown of difference between the teams probably, and I think that lends to a little bit more low scoring.
All right, so going with the under there in terms of the game total. Last thing for me, Dave, I'd like to talk some player props. Can you give us a player prop for each team that you think bettors should keep an eye on?
Sure. For Kansas City, and I already wrote this for the Post on the website earlier in the week, I'm taking Travis Kelce at 12-1 for the Super Bowl MVP. He's a long shot, but I think you can certainly make a case that he will do enough if the Chiefs win to at least merit consideration. And I think there's just like a groundswell for this, the whole Taylor Swift thing that's been going on for months now. Voters are humans, and sometimes even sports writers get caught up in these types of things. And the fans even have a percentage of the vote for Super Bowl MVP. And if the Swifties, get on their cell phones at the right moment in enough numbers that, Kelce, that could put Kelce over the top. And for the Niners, my prop is Brock Purdy over 12.5 rushing yards. He had some good scrambles against the Lions in the last game, and I think the Chiefs have a great pass rush, and they'll be coming after him, and he'll be on the run, and I think he can get over that number.
All right, I like that. Brock Purdy, he did have some good scrambles, as you said, against the Lions. I believe he went over his rushing yards line in that one. And as far as Travis Kelce goes, you know this, Dave, the Swifties will be out in full force for this game, Super Bowl LVIII. No doubt about that. That is Dave Blezow, featured handicapper of the Post NFL Bettor Guide, which I told you he's been doing it for a while, folks, since 1994. One of the best out there doing it. Dave, always good to talk some sports betting with you. We will talk soon.
Thank you, Dexter. Have a great Super Bowl.
You too.